All right. For any of you tuning in early, welcome back. I probably should have finished this sooner rather than later. But a while ago, my first stream on this, or for the programming at least, I did a data viz of, or a walkthrough data viz of COVID-19 trends in new cases. Excuse me. Finally, I'm getting around to finishing that after like a week or something. So let's get to mapping our eventual death and demise and misery. Okay, so first item on the agenda: automate the date. Um, so automating the date. What we're gonna do is we're gonna use JavaScript's built-in. They have a built-in date object, so we're gonna use that to figure out what today's date is and automate the date by kind of parsing a string based on that. You just create a new date object like that. I just remembered I have to make this bigger for you guys. There we go. Okay, make a new date object. You just store it to some variable. So when you print it out, there's a few different ways you can output this. The important thing is, okay, so like this is like the full date description down to the second, and it tells you the time zone according to GMT. GMT is also UTC, and let me pull up a map. Time zone map. UTC might be hard for you guys to see it, but it's this orange one here in the middle. Basically, that's considered, okay, this is like the time of the world, and then every other time zone is either ahead of that or behind that. So UTC is kind of like I don't know how you'd call it. I guess it's like the world's standard time. I don't know. But anyway, so it's important for us to understand what UTC is because it's going to be very key for us in doing this. Because as you notice, we get a string when we print out the date, which is good. So the other things we can do is date get date, which if you read the syntax or the description here, it says guess day of the month using local time. So we hit get date, we refresh, the console tells us 8, so June 8th. All right, cool. So we can get the day from the date object. Now the problem is this is Hawaii time. This wouldn't work if you did it in, say, Japan. Japan is ahead of us by 19 hours, so for them it's already the 9th of June, which is a problem because if we try to write the code and say, oh, just get to today's date, and if we go look at the Johns Hopkins data set, that day doesn't exist in the data yet. So what we have to do is we have to use a time zone that is consistent across all machines no matter where in the world it's being viewed from. Fortunately, what we can do is get UTC date. So UTC date is going to tell us the date according to that time zone UTC. So if I refresh, it's 9. Why is it 9? UTC is 10 hours ahead. So right now it's 3 o'clock here. 3:15 to be exact. So 10 hours ahead of 3:15. 13. So that's 1:15 in the morning. So for UTC and beyond, it's already the next day. Which is, so that's good. It just, we're going to have to do some calculations to make sure that we don't want to reference the date when it's not present on the table, but we could just do an if statement to check. Oh, okay, so if that data is available or exists, we can get it. If it doesn't, then we go back by a day. And so that's what we're gonna do. All right, so let's just parse the date. So you get UTC date. So if we go look at the Johns Hopkins data set, COVID-19 data. Addition of Brazil recoveries. What? What do you mean addition of Brazil? Hang on. Addition of Brazil. Oh, it's probably just a yeah, it's probably just an error that they're fixing. Okay. Time series. Oh, they fixed Virginia's missing data. That's cool. It's very nice of them. Very nice of them to fix missing data. Okay, sorry. Time series confirmed. Confirmed global. Give it a second to load. All right, here we go. All right, so as you can see, we don't even have the data for the 8th yet because it doesn't come out until like the end of the day. So there's like end of the day reports, and they're doing it according to Eastern time, so it won't be uploaded until 2 hours from now. So like 5-ish, 5:15, 5:30, sometimes a little later than that. So what we need to do is we need to check if the days exist. Okay. So first, let's parse a full date string, how they have it formatted before we do the checking. So console.log date.get UTC month. Again, doing UTC because we want to have a sort of consistent time zone for reference, so that way it works everywhere. Console.log and then date.get UTC. Oops, get UT. That's a Y. There we go. Full year. All right, let's print out all that information. Let's see what it looks like. All right, so 9/5/2020. 9/5/2020 is June 9th, 2020. Why is this 5? That's because some genius had the brilliant idea of printing out the months indexed 0 to 11. Why? I don't know. But it's okay, because we know that. We can just say +1, and this will work. Alright, 6/9/2020. And if we look at the data set, they don't... So we have to be a little careful because sometimes certain data sets, they'll format their numbers where there's always 2 significant figures, meaning that like instead of just 6/2/20, it would be 06/02/20. So fortunately, they don't do that here. It's just 6/2/20, so we don't need to format the numbers at all. So this code alone, get UTC date, month, full year, these 3 functions are all we need to build the string to look like this and get the date. So if we do console.log, or let's make a var first. Make it a var string since we're going to use it anyway. So var date string equals, or I'll say var, I didn't use today yet, did I? Today, new today. Okay, so I'll just say today. Var today equals, or I'll just copy the date.getUTC date plus, they have a slash in between each one. You can see it here. We have a little reference here because from before. So there's a number slash number slash number. So we put a slash there. Then we add get UTC day month. Whoops. And we have to add one of the months because of the ingenious decision to start it at 0 because reasons. Put the slash, and then finally we do the full year. All right. Get UTC. Oh, I didn't put a plus. There we go. Okay, now if we print that out, whoops, Jesus. There we go. All right, so if we refresh and print that out, 9/6/2020. Oh wait, this is a full 4-digit number. It's okay though. We can simply in parentheses say, okay, that minus 2,000. Whoops, 2,000. And then we refresh. There you go, 9/6/20. Wait, that's day month. Whoops, that's supposed to be month, day, year. Hang on, I did this wrong order. Did it like a filthy American. Oops. No, what's going on? No, what have I done? All right. Copy that. Whoops. Undo. I got it. Plus slash Let's try this again. Save. 6920. There we go. All right. Month, day, year, not day, month, year. Okay. All right. So we have today. Now. Ooh. Okay. So we have today. So we can. So we were to put today into a string. We have the string correct format, so we can go and slide in today. So today, this was today. So we'll probably rename these variables since they're not going to be total to 27th anymore. It's going to be like actually the total on today. So I'll rename those variables in a second. So we can put today here. Of course, we have to change the others. And so the way we're going to change the others is JavaScript's date object is quite useful in the sense that you can say date minus minus. And I know this looks stupid, but oh frick, never mind. Oh, I did it wrong. I'm so sorry. I'm a genius, I promise. So you make a new date object. Then you say, in that new date object, you say set UTC dates. And then you say date dot get UTC date, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, date minus 1. Alright, so now that should... Yeah, because it's... Okay, the day, month, year, so 8th of June, 2020. Alright, there we go. Okay, that's how you set the date back. So using that, we can go back some weeks. It's just going to be a little irritating because we have to parse it a bunch of times. So, alright, so let's rename these variables for organizational purposes. So, today conf for confirmed, or today C for confirmed. So total, what was that? Total 27? Yeah, so total 27 becomes this. Today C. Where is today? These names are gonna hurt my head. Today confirmed. Yes. C. Yes. C. Today week. Yes week. I put conf just to be more descriptive so I don't go crazy. Okay, so today confirmed. Today confirmed minus today week. Yes confirmed minus yes week. Alright. Now to create the dates. Date 1. I guess I'll just do date 1, date 2, date 3. Whoops. It's not very descriptive. These are kind of weird variables to name. They're not. I'm not sure the most descriptive way to give them names, so my apologies on that. Okay, so date 1, that's correct. So date 2, or I could just say date. Whatever. Date 1, date 2. So basically, we're gonna copy this. That's 2. That's 3. Okay, so date 2 is going to be... So date 1 is yesterday. Date 2 we want to be a week ago from today. Is that complicated? Ugh. Not having intuitive ways to name these functions complicates things. But anyway, let's just do... Date 1 will be... Yeah, we'll just do date 1 is yesterday. So we only subtract 1 because we go back 1 day. Date 2 is a week from today, a week prior to today. So we go back from that 7 days. And then so date 3 will be the day a week from yesterday, so we'll go back 8 days. Okay. So doing all that, this will give you the correct dates. So now what we have to do is we have to create strings for all days. Or you could just stick the strings right in here directly, which I kind of would prefer to do at this point, so that we don't have to. I don't need these variable names. So I'll just do that instead. Okay, so today. Oh, whoops. No semicolons. Or quotes. Alright, so today, you put that in there. Oh, son of a bitch. They need the... that's okay. It is alright. Yeah, some parts of this are just a little tedious, but gotta deal with it. Oh, and get rid of that semicolon. Okay, so let's get rid of this. Since I'm processing them below, we can get rid of them from here. Delete those. All right, save. Okay, so first let's prove that this actually works. Let me go to the map, refresh it. Doesn't work. Why does it not work? Oh, right, because the 8th doesn't exist yet. Right. That was the problem I was supposed to address. I'm gonna manually set this to be. Hang on. Currently, we only have data up to the 7th, so date dot set. Right now, it's setting to the 9th, so I'm gonna manually set it to be back by 2 days. So that should be the 7th of June. And if I print that out, okay, so if I print that out, we'll see. Okay, 7th of June. Go back to. Where was it? Here. Oh yeah, so it's already refreshed. Okay, so you can see that the map is already different than what it was before. We can see some places are now lighting up red when they weren't, like the U.S. in particular, and yeah. So yeah, the data has changed. It's showing the right day. So this is now based off of today as opposed to back when I did this last time, which seems to be. Why did I do that? Oh, I erased those dates, so now I don't know. It's like the 27th of May or something. Anyhow, let me reiterate what I said. Not here. Today, yesterday, week ago, today, week ago. There you go. Those are better names. Today, week ago. Week ago. And today. And yesterday. Okay. And let me order these so they make sense. Okay, now they're in order. All right, so hopefully this makes sense now. Basically, okay, so date is today. Date 1 is yesterday. Date 2 is a week ago from today, and date 3 is a week ago from yesterday. Which you can see here. Today is date. Yesterday, date 1. Today, a week ago, date 2. Yesterday, a week ago, date 3. All right, and then the rest of the code is the same as what we wrote last time. Yeah. Okay. So now we've automatically sort of set the day, so now it'll automatically update. But again, as you saw, we had the error where I had to manually put this back by 2 days because today's data wasn't available. So we're going to automate this. So we're going to say while. So we have the data at this point. So while data 0 of this. So we're going to do this string again. So we're going to do a string that represents today. So the string for date. We're going to say data 0 of that date. So while it is undefined. So undefined in JavaScript, undefined is the same as being null. So if something is undefined, it will return false. So we could just say not. So not data 0 at this date string. We will set the day back by 1 until we have reached the correct date. So if we do that, we refresh, it works. Automatically set the day back to the 7th without us having to manually do it. And then that way, if it is correct, and that way, if it ever, if the UTC date is correct and the data does exist, we don't even worry about that. We just let it go. We say, okay, you just go do your thing. You're good to go. Okay. So now that's taken care of. Setting the date. I'm not gonna console.log this. What I'm gonna console.log is just so we always know. .log this string, just so that we can always check the date to make sure it's getting set to be the correct thing. Yeah, so that'll just stay there. All right, so that is it for automating the date. So now every day you check this, it'll be up current. Next thing we want to do is fix the special cases. So what are the special cases? What am I talking about? Okay. Looking at the data, you'll notice Australia is divided, unlike some of the others where they're just a single location by their country region, Australia is divided by its provinces. That means, if we look at our code, we're pushing places to that country region and doing the calculations for each country region, but we have multiple Australias. We never look at the province state in our code. Because we have multiple Australias, we actually end up with an inaccurate representation, because what the code ends up doing, because we have multiple entries for Australia, it just takes the first one. So really, we're only seeing the data for the Australian Capital Territory represent the entire country or continent. Same thing's happening with Canada as well. What we need to do is we need to compile, because we want it for the entire country, we need to compile all that data and sum it up. So we need all of the numbers for each day, for each of the different provinces and states for Canada, Australia, and China. And I think, Denmark is another one with the weirdness. Greenland is classified as part of Denmark here, so that's why we're having problems with Greenland. France is another one that's having those issues. I believe United Kingdom also. Netherlands is wrong. Whereas United Kingdom is wrong. The US, they only have it here as one whole thing for the entire country. So the US is actually coming out correct. But yeah, so we have to sum all these together to make sure we get the correct ones. So there is an entry in each one for France and United Kingdom and Denmark where it's referencing just the mainland France. So this one that I have highlighted here is mainland France. Then there's one for United Kingdom as well, and the Netherlands and Denmark. So that one is actually easy to filter out. So before I jump ahead and do this, we can filter out the bad ones by saying if data I province data/state equals empty string. So if it's an empty string, then do all of this calculations for the data. Then we gotta tab it. Whoops. Well, I have to tab it because my editor's being dumb. All right, so if we just save that. Hey, Patrick. How are you? All right, so we saved that. Okay, so United Kingdom's now correct. Denmark. Where's Denmark? Denmark's now correct. Netherlands. Where actually are they? There they are. Netherlands are now correct. Oh God. Well, what the heck? Okay, Plotly. Thank you. All right, Netherlands are now correct. So we caught those three. Oh, France is also now correct as well. So we caught those three. Those are now showing up correctly because we basically said, okay, don't worry about the province states. Just do the ones where they don't have a province state, meaning only do like the full country data. Now, again, you'll notice Canada doesn't even show up. China doesn't show up, and Australia don't show up because those are the ones where they don't have a total. They are only divided by their province state. That's the only way you can get their data. So I don't actually need this big. Well, I do need the if statement, but it doesn't have to be this big. So because we know United Kingdom has a thing, as does the Netherlands and France and Denmark, we actually only need to do this for 3 places. All right. Okay. Oh, don't tab like that. That's gross. All right. So for Australia, Canada, and China, we have to do this, but we have to take the sum. For each? There we go. All right. For each element, for array dot for each element. All right. So data dot for each element. Let's say E. For each E, where. Hang on, stop it. You're looking ugly. Okay. For each E, where E country region? No. Yeah, country region / region equals data I country. Whoops. Country / region. I also realized I think my is my if statement in the right place? No, it's not. I need to figure out where I put my else before I can figure out where I put my if, but that's fine. Okay. Okay, so for each array of data, for each thing in our array, if the item, and we're checking the country region of the item. I did not close that. Holy shit. Okay. So if the item's country region is equal to the current country region that we're on for this thing, we will sum it up. But I just realized this is gonna do it for each one. Son of a gun. This is gonna wait. Dang it. This is gonna. Oh, I have an idea of how I can do this. Okay. There's another thing I can add to the if statement. I'll address that in a minute. All right. For now, let's just keep going with this. Okay. So for each, so when we run into one of these countries, we say, okay, go grab the values, the sums of each state, province from the country that we're on. It's basically big function thing is going to be in here. Okay. If okay, you put it inside an if statement because it's not like some of the other languages I've used before where you can just do predicates. I'm thinking of Python. That's probably why. I'm thinking of the way you do it in Python. Python's not similar to JavaScript, but it has some similar things. Okay. Okay. So if the country region is equal to the country region that you're currently iterating through, you need to sum it. So you need to. So we need some sums. So var sum today equals 0. So you say sum today plus sum today plus equal. I said plus equal. There, no, all right, we got it. We figured it out. My fingers are figuring it out. Okay, sum today plus equals parse int parse the integer of not data I, but we're gonna do e at this date, e of this date. That'll give us a number. We parse it into an integer to make sure it comes out correct. And okay, so now we need to do that for all of them. So var sum. I could have reused the variable names. No, I'm a fool. We're reusing the variable names. And why we're using the variable names, you ask, is because of this. That's why. No, I'm a fool. All right, hang on. Today, yesterday, today, week ago, yesterday, week ago. I feel bad that my mind is like all over the place for some reason. All right, so today plus equals that. Basically, we can just copy all of this. If we go back here, get rid of the vars. And then we also need, oops. Get rid of the vars, excuse me. And then we also need plus equals. All right. Okay, so that should give us the right sums. So if we do it this way, this should give us the right values. Now, the one last thing before we jump, because that should be it for summing it. That should be exactly how we sum it. Once we sum it like that, it should be all good to go. I almost missed one thing. Oh my god. That should be E, by the way. Not data I. It has to be E. Not data I. Do not use data I. It is gonna give you wrong values. Alright, so make sure all of these are E up here. Because we're in the for each loop here. Let me separate this a little better. I'll put this back on the previous line. Okay. So remember, we're in a for each loop. So for each E in data, we are going to do these sums. Oh, whoops, sorry. These sums have to go outside the for each loop. There we go. Okay. Oh, boy. Oh, scope. Scope is not correct. Yeah, I'm catching so many mistakes. Wait, hang on. So why I'm moving these outside because of scope reasons. Because if I only declare these inside the if statements, they will never make it out to here. And I need them to make it out to here. For obvious reasons. Hello. Thank you. So we're gonna do this for each one, right? So yeah, put it out here. And it doesn't matter that they're all 0 here because they all get set eventually, so it's fine. They all get set or they get set to 0 anyway. Alright, so okay, now that's correct. I'll put a thing here to separate them. Okay, so for each one, if we find it, start at 0, we sum them up for the country. Otherwise, we just grab it because it's only one entry for the country. Then we continue on. We say, okay, today new, yesterday new, real trend push. Actually, we do all our calculations and generate the map. Now, the last thing we have to do is look at the data set real quick. Go do this for... Okay, so for Canada and China and the Australia as well, if we run this on if we run our code on this, what's going to happen is it's going to say, oh, I found Canada. Okay, let me go sum it up. All right, let me add. All right, Canada's got these numbers. Oh, let me go sum it. Oh, I see Canada. Let me do this again. Oh, I see Canada. Let me do it again. Oh, I see Canada. You get the point. Basically, it keeps... Every time it sees Canada, it's going to go and try to do these calculations. That's not what we want. Now, this actually gives you the right value, funny enough. Because every single time it sees Canada, it's going to do the same computation and come out with the same number. So you actually get the right thing. It's just now you end up with duplicates of Canada, which you don't really care for. So, really easy way to make sure this doesn't happen is just check to see if you've already seen Canada. We're going to take this out. The initial if will be, okay, if it's we haven't done this country yet, we will do it now. We won't push just yet. We'll do the push inside the if statement here. So if it goes here, if it's one of those three, we push it into here. Otherwise, we push it to here, and then we're going to say not else, but else if. All right, else if data I province, province slash state equals empty. Okay, so our initial check, we check to see have we done this country yet. If we haven't, if we have not, then we do another. So we go into the next if statement. Okay, if it's Australia, whoops. If it's Australia, can you please scroll horizontally? Thank you. If it's Australia, Canada, or China, we say, okay, we add that to our list of places, and then for each state province in them, we get the sum of their case numbers so that we could get a calculation for the entire country. Otherwise, we say, okay, if you're not one of those countries, but you're one of the entries that, you know, you're one of the entries that is for the mainland country, or like the main country, not one of the provinces, excuse me. Then we add you to our list, and we only get the value once. That way we don't accidentally grab the value for Denmark, because like if you look in order, if we go in order of the data set, go down to France. France, the first entry is French Guiana, excuse me. We don't want to use that for mainland France. We want to use this one, so we make sure that the entry we grab for France, and Denmark, and the others is the one where it's not for the province. There is no province state. It's the one for the entire country, or the mainland country. Okay. Now that all of that is done, is it saved? It is saved. Okay. Now, if we hit Control R, there we go. Why are you red? You're not supposed to be red. Why are you red? You have the... Okay, wait. What the hell? Oh! Oh! I know the problem. I mean, JavaScript is still bullshit, but I know the problem. Because I don't... God damn it. I'm putting strings into the array. So, E is a string. Because E is a string, you just check to see if E equals the day. Or the country name. It doesn't have a country name value. Don't enjoy JavaScript all the time. Partially because of reasons like this, I just kind of The syntax just gets so messy. Drives you kind of crazy after a while. But it's okay, I solved the problem. Or at least one of the problems. Okay, so it shouldn't double count now. Yeah, alright, so that should work. Yeah, it does each of them once now. Thankfully. And now Canada's correct. Okay, so there was a problem with it doing it multiple times, giving it the wrong number. Got it. Okay. Now we have that was. Oh, I wonder if it summed it. I wonder if that was the problem. Yeah, whatever. No need to worry about that now. We have a correct map after like 5 minutes of emotional turmoil and pain and suffering. But it's okay. It's working now. I think. Okay. We have correct values for Canada showing up and France. France is 0. That is a miracle. What the hell? China as well, Australia. Yeah. Okay, so now we have all the correct values in the map. That takes care of these special cases. Okay, I was gonna say possibly divide USA by state, but the US data we'd have to reference another file for that, which is fine. But the US data is. I just remembered that it's actually quite a mess. So maybe I'll do a third stream of this where I do that, but yeah, for the purposes of this, I want to keep it global. So yeah, I'm gonna. Is there a strike through? Can I do a strike through? Format, font. How do I strike through? I want to strike through. I can't strike through. That's lame. Oh well, it's fine. I'll do the US by state another time. The data's just too the data's just too messy for me, and that bug I just fixed kind of broke me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, that kind of broke me. So yeah. Okay. Next thing I want to do is I want to adjust the scale a little bit. Okay, so let's tweak this a little bit. Hey, Notepad is a text editor. I could be writing all my code in Notepad if I really wanted to, but I don't hate myself that much, so I'm not gonna do that. Okay, so the current scale that I'm using, if I go look at the code, so the current scale I'm using, you have. So you have from between -10 and 10, you have neutral, meaning not really trending. -10 to 100, you're trending downwards. -100 to -1,000, you're significantly trending downwards, which means you're experiencing lots of improvement. And then +10 to +100, you're trending upwards by a decent amount. And then 100 to 1,000, really strong upwards trend. 1,000 plus, massive upwards trend. -1,000, massive downward trend, and so forth. The thing we have to keep in mind is we're doing this across a week, right? So because we're doing this across a week, this is 10 cases throughout the entire week, which is less than 2 cases per day. So I feel like a better measure would be, let's say, okay, 5 new cases. So it would probably be better if we look at the cases per day. So 35, -35 to +35. That's somewhere between 5 new cases, 5 more new cases per day, and 5 fewer new cases per day. So I'm going to adjust the scale to be -35 to 35. Now 100, I have to make sure I adjust all the values appropriately. Now 100 divided by 7, I don't actually know that off the top of my head. It's something like 15. Close to 15? Yeah, it's close to 15. So 14. Okay, so that's roughly 14 more new cases. So that's actually a pretty good amount. Let's say 20 if you're more than 20. So that's going to be 140. So this is going to be 140. Would mean that you've experienced an increase of 20 or more new cases per day over the past week. And then 1,000 is that 140? Where did I put my there's my calculator. 1,000 divided by 7. So yeah, about 142 per day. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Or no, let's make it a solid 100. So if we want 100 new cases per day, that would be what, 700 if I'm not mistaken? 100 new cases per day. You would expect to see 700. Yeah, yeah. You expect to see 700. So instead of 1,000, let's use 700. So we're gonna see more places show up in dark red, but that's fine. And we can maybe make some adjustments to this. The point is, we want to make these changes. Go to our map, not this map, that map. Let's see what it looks like now. Okay, so a lot of places have kind of neutralized to white. Again, this maybe doesn't look like exactly what we wanted to show, but again, this might be accurate information. So let's look at the real numbers. So Germany and France are both saying 0. The Netherlands is saying 2. 0, 0. It's kind of weird that these are 0. Is that right? That they're 0? Oh, there's an anomaly in Sweden's data. Still very perfect at 0. Norway. Norway's really low, so it is realistic that it could be 0. It's really Germany at 0. Huh. I guess it is realistic that some of these could be 0. It just seems like way too convenient to be true. Let's look at the map again. '29, Pakistan's 111. I mean, based on the numbers, yeah, based on the numbers, that seems like a fine amount. Because a lot of these places are experiencing only slow growth. And again, because if you see an increase in 35 cases, or in 35 new cases this week compared to last week, that means it's trended upward by about 5 cases per day. And whether or not that is something that's ignorable, that's I'm not a biologist, so I don't know. Maybe that should be shaded lightly pink, and maybe we should be using a number smaller than that. Now that I look at it, maybe let's tone it down to, let's say 28. Let's say 28. 28 would be 4, an increase in 4 per day between the weeks. All right, so Egypt showing up now, trending slightly upwards. Poland, and again, we need to make sure that we are cross-referencing this with actual data. Yeah, Egypt slightly trending upwards. Okay, that looks fine. Yeah, because there are some places where they have like a weird kind of drop down one day, and then they go back up, and so forth. So, yeah, I think 28 is probably a better number. And then we look at the map again. It makes sense that we're not going to see a lot in the bright blue because it's really hard to have like a really, really strong downward trend. And most places that had it in the past have already progressed to a point of like where they're kind of stabilizing. It's still really bizarre that these are all 0. That just seems too perfect. Anyway, maybe I'll take a look at that in a minute, but for now, so I'm pretty pleased with this. Most of Europe has calmed down in its growth and such, so this looks fine for the most part. Oh my god, Switzerland's really trending that far up. Hang on, where's Switzerland? Wait, that's not right. That's not right at all. Switzerland should be trending upwards. Something else got put in for Switzerland. Somebody else's data got put in for Switzerland. That's weird. Wonder what happened there. Might be an error in the data set. I don't know. Anyhow, I'm not gonna linger on that too much. That is weird that Switzerland's doing that. That's something. That's something erring with the data set that's being processed by our code. That's really weird. So somebody else has this value. This value doesn't belong to Switzerland. Somebody else has this value, but for some reason it's being assigned to Switzerland, and I don't know why. I'd have to look at it. But I want to move on to the next item. So adjusting the scale, that was, and you can adjust the scale however you see fit. This is kind of the scale I'm happy with. It seems to show most of the places correctly according to what they seem to be exhibiting in terms of their growth. The next thing we could adjust though is the way we actually measure the growth, because the method we're using right now, it may not be the best way of doing it. So right now what we're doing is, I need to pull up a calendar. Right now what we're doing is, so today is the 8th. What we're doing is we're calculating, well, we're using data from the 7th, but let's say we were on the 8th. We're taking today, everything from Tuesday the 2nd all the way to Monday the 8th. We're summing that up the new cases we had from those 7 days. And we're subtracting it from the new cases that occurred between Monday the 1st and Sunday the 7th. But really, you would get the same if you just had the number of new cases that occurred on the 8th and subtracted that from the number of new cases that occurred on the 1st. That would give you, the number of new cases that occurred on the 2nd. That would give you the same thing. So really, we're just, you could completely ignore these days, and you would just end up with those two. Those two values would give you, that difference would give you the trend value that we've calculated. Another way we could do this, which I want to see if this works, is what happens if we compare 4 days to 4 days. So meaning that if today's the 8th, I want to say, okay, the new cases that occurred between today, yesterday, day before that, and the day before that, so 5, 6, 7, 8. That is actually really convenient. That is on the 8th of the month. I'm a genius. And compare those 8 days, the new cases that occurred there, to the number of new cases that occurred on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So I'm going to modify the days. I'm going to leave the variable names the same, even if they're going to be a little confusing. I'm just going to change the date. And so this is really, it's nice because I have the dates all set up here. So I can just come here and change the dates. So to do that, I need to know the number of new cases that occurred. So the number of new cases that occurred on the 8th. So the number of confirmed cases on the 8th minus the number of confirmed cases on the 4th. So minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. So we're going to do, what is it, date 2? Today minus today, a week ago. Okay, so that's going to be, so date 2 is going to be now minus 4. Date 1 is going to be minus 5. And it's going to be minus 8. That should still be, yeah, this should still be minus 8. All right. Okay, so if we do it like that, I'm curious to see how this is going to come out. I'm going to delete this debugging here. All right, let's take a look and see. Did I save? I did. Let's see how the map looks. Okay, that is interesting. That also doesn't feel correct. Wait, what did I do? What the heck? I've done something wrong. Hang on. My scale's all kinds of fucked up. I have done something incorrect. What have I done wrong? Oh, well, okay, I see. I see one thing I've done wrong. I've actually missed a part of the scale. There we go. Oh, now it's all red. Oh god, it's all red. There we go. Okay. So I actually had my scale wrong. That's why some of the map was looking weird beforehand. I had this was still 1,000, so there was a no man's land where some cases weren't being recorded properly. So yeah, I just want to see real quick. What was this? 178. Hang on. Just reverting it back real quick. Okay, the map is still the same, even with the scale being done appropriately. Still weird that Switzerland's doing that. Okay. All right, now let's try this again. Okay, so one. Okay, so hang on. Let me make sure I did this correct. So date one. Date one is being used for yesterday. If I'm doing yesterday, this should be 5. This should be 4. That should be 8. If I do this again, I get a scorched earth. Well, Madagascar is negative. That's good. Why are these numbers so big? Is this really the truth? If this is actually the truth, that's actually really horrifying. It's possible this is just reality, and we're and this is just. But some of these numbers just seem way too big to be true. That's why I'm not entirely convinced. So let's take a look. Let's take a closer look at what's happening. Did I actually do this correctly? I think I know why. I think I know why. I think I know why. I think what's happening is, so we did this as a catch, right? We did this as a catch. We said, okay, if you weren't the 3, Australia, China, Canada, we don't want your province state, we only want you. So we get the data here. But I've already initialized them all to be 0. So if it is a place with the province state, it's like it goes ahead and just computes 0, but it never gets added to the place array. Because it's a fucker who can die in a hole. Fucking fuck you. It's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but it's fine. So what we'll have to do is... Oh man, do I seriously have to copy this and put it in both if statements? Yeah, God, that's annoying. I don't really have a choice though. All right, God, can you not do that? Thank you. All right, to enter, tab it. We'll paste all that in there. Have to tab it because Visual Studio is being dumb. There, and then I have to do it again here. So we put them inside the if statements. So that way we don't have rogue states and provinces screwing up our beautiful data. And if we go back to the map. Oh, hey, that looks suddenly correct. Okay, Switzerland is not blistering red. Ah, finally. Oh no, I have to go back and double check the other way. Well, this actually looks pretty good. I must say. France is really that negative? Oh yeah, that's right. The French data is a complete mess. They keep having to do error correction, so yeah. There's the US trending up. Brazil trending even more up. Mexico, Argentina. I'll probably adjust the color scale one more time here. Now that I finally found the bugs and murdered them like they deserve to be killed. There we go. India's got 5665 like it's supposed to. Kenya's got 223 like it's supposed to. Okay. Oh, it's so nice when things are what they're supposed to be. All right. Poland. Really, Poland's trending upwards. Shit, Poland's trending upwards. Damn. Look at how informative this is. So yeah. Okay. I'm gonna revert it one more time because now I did not know that we had that problem before. I'm just gonna check one more time. So 178. This is the old method that we're doing. We're just comparing 7 days to previous 7 days. We just check that real quick. Looks like this. Okay, US is how it's. Okay, US is no longer blue. Looks like this. So they both look roughly the same. You know what I'm gonna do? tab localhost. We're gonna put them side by side. Okay, so 5, 5. Wait, is that correct? No, 4, 4. I could just Control Z. There we go. All right, let's refresh. Okay, so these are the two side. Whoa. Oh no. Wait. Yeah. Can reset. We can reset. There we go. Reset. So these are the two different ways that they look. Let me pop this out so we can see them side by side. No, I didn't. Google. Stop it. Bad Google. Bad Google. Google. Okay. All right. So those are our two worlds. So the one on the right is. Okay. So the one on the right. Picture. Okay, the one on the right is the method that I switched to, where we're doing the 4 days, the two chunks of 4 days. The one on the left is from before, when we did. Okay, we have today and the previous 7 days, and then yesterday and the 7 days prior to that. So, looking at those two side by side. Oh, I could have just changed the title. I also haven't changed the title to be trends. It still says confirmed cases. I'll have to do that, but okay, do that afterwards. Anyway, let's. So the one on the left before, we can see Russia is allegedly trending downwards here. Kazakhstan trending downwards, Iran trending downwards. Well, those are the same here. But big difference is Russia's trending downwards, Canada only slightly trending downwards, Egypt trending downwards, Sudan trending downwards. So those are the same difference. Egypt trending upwards here. What is this? Oman? Yeah, Oman trending up downwards, Oman trending upwards. Iran's about the same. Mexico trending downwards a good amount, or sorry, upwards a good amount. Mexico trending upwards a lot. Peru trending down. So most of the rest of South America is roughly the same. South Africa trending up a lot, only trending up a good amount. Central Africa trending up a good amount, along with Cameroon. Kenya trending up more. Congo trending up less. Ethiopia trending up. So Ghana trending up, whereas here Ghana's trending down. So let's look at. That's not it. Where did I put the here? So let's look at the map. Let's see. So for some of the places I named, so Egypt. Looking at this, should Egypt be trending up or down? So 1, 2, 3, 4 compared to 1, 2, 3, 4. I would say anything for Egypt right now, since we're looking at this block here that kind of like starts on, what is it? The first here. I would say it looks like, so this is the first 1399 new cases. It should probably be trending up a little bit. If it's close to neutral, that's fine, but I would not say trending downward should be correct. Russia was another one that was flipped. Russia is, what's that? 89.71. Where's the 3rd of June? Come on. There you are. 5 compared to 6184. So it looks like Russia should be kind of stagnating or close to it. Let's look at the map. So Russia close to is only slightly trending down in this one. Only slightly trending up. It's funny. It's like a polar opposites. Slightly trend. Oh well. Sorry, they're trending more heavily than I thought. 200. Oh well, I guess that because they're so high, their numbers are really high. They'll fluctuate a good amount, but yeah. Let's see what else. What else is different? What was Oman was different? Oman was different. Kenya was more aggressive. Central Africa. So we get Central Africa. Central Africa. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. compared to 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so Central Africa should be trending up. This block is bigger than this block, so yeah, Central Africa should be trending up. Oman, yeah, Oman looks like it should be trending up. 1, 2, 3, 4, compared to 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, Oman should be trending up as well. What were some of the other differences? Were there any more? Any more differences that were notable? Let's see. There's a few where the trend is stronger, but they're the same side. For me, I care about just getting them to be on the right side. Again, we might make one more adjustment to the scale, but at this point, we just want to make sure they're in the right. So here we go. Indonesia, Malaysia. So Indonesia trending up here, very slightly trending down there. Let's take a look. Indonesia. 1, 2, 3, 4. Compared to 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, Indonesia should be trending up. Indonesia should definitely be trending up. Okay, so now that we've kind of reaffirmed it, I'm sorry that took a little while, but the point is we want to make sure we reaffirm our data and make sure that we're showing stuff correctly or accurately. This method, where we're doing 4-day chunks, definitely seems to convey a more accurate map than the method where we compare the 7-day periods where there's all like a very large overlap except for the first and last day. So this is definitely seems to be the more reliable way of looking at it, in my opinion. And because now we're really get 4-day chunks, we don't necessarily need that. I mean, this scale actually seems pretty good. We could probably tweak it a little bit. I'm not entirely sure what I would classify the scale at, but yeah, I think it's a fine scale what we have right now. I think anything being over 1,000 is fine, and you're not going to see a lot that are, or I guess it's 700 now. Actually, yeah, I should change that. I should change that back to 1,000 because it's no longer 7 days. We'll just do 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Is that it? 140. Make this like 150. So we'll do this to be like a solid 30. Or let's do 50. Let's do 50. And 50 is kind of much. Let's keep it 30. Keep it 30. 30? Yeah, 30. 30 is fine. 30, 30, 30, 150, 150, 150, 150. Oops. Okay. Refresh this. Alright, not much change, but yeah, not much change, but that's okay. So yeah. Oh, let's change the title for finally. That's something I should have changed. COVID-19 trends. Weekly trends. We can close this now. We don't need the debugger anymore. Wait, let's close that one. Put this back here. There we go. Okay, so there's your COVID-19 trends map. It's mostly accurate. So yeah, lots of upward trend, which is not too surprising, but such is the reality of what we're facing right now, unfortunately. But this is really helpful for us to see. And the point of making that change between the 4-day blocks is to make sure we're not being heavily influenced by one day. We want to make sure that there's many days or multiple days where we see improvement before we say, okay, we're trending downwards. Like if we go to Kazakhstan, That's Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan. Here we go, Kazakhstan. You can see that Kazakhstan, while it has been sporadic, it looks like it's mostly going down. Like 4 days ago, mark would be what, the first or the 31st. So from there down to here, or something like what's that? First, yeah. So from here down to here, there's definitely a downward trend. It's a decent downward trend. Of course, it is skewed by one day where there's zero, but it's not like completely throwing off. Like we still like there's still a very clear downward trend from this point 476 to 183. And it's unfortunate we can't like filter out these like zero data points. We do kind of have to live with them when there's inconsistencies in the reporting of cases or the testing, but that's okay as long as we have a method that's right in most cases, and um, that'll help us a lot. So yeah, was there anything else? Okay, I think I lost a lot of time to bug fixing today. Unfortunately, I'm not very happy about that, so my apologies. But this is, I feel like this is a much better version of the map now. Like last time, we had our session was pretty good for like getting going, getting it set up, and starting out. This session, I think we focus a little bit more on improving it, fine tuning it, getting it to look good, and understanding the numbers and the data and the processes and all that. Of course, there's still things to be done, but again, like if you guys are doing this at home, you can definitely get to this point by following along or make the needed improvements on your own by looking up the documentation. I will probably do a third session where I probably don't focus on the map itself, but I instead take a closer look at making like a web page or something, like doing some HTML stuff, and then maybe like touching on some of the other topics like asynchronous JS, and maybe doing a US map to show how would you see it state to state. Because I think definitely if you're living in the United States like I am, again, it's good to know what the country is in total, but of course Hawaii doesn't match the rest of the country. Neither does like Montana or Vermont. Every state is going to be a little different than the other. Same for Alaska. So it could be worthwhile to do a U.S. state map on top of all this. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I will probably do another game dev thing before I do this one more time. But yeah, that's all I have for today. Thanks for tuning in. Please go check out. I'll try to get a VOD of this up on YouTube with the constant bug fixing and hair pulling all chopped out, much more condensed. And other than that, I don't really have anything else to say. So yeah, stay informed, stay safe, take care, and yeah, see you guys around.